Okay, so we were East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors PM meeting Thursday, January the 15th, 2026, 6:30 PM. A recording device will be in use during this meeting. We will open the meeting with a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment for agenda items. Rules for conduct of public meetings established by Resolution 2001-08. The time allocated to each individual making a comment shall be 3 minutes unless otherwise set by the presiding officer. Additional public comment may be granted at the discretion of the presiding officer at the conclusion of the meeting. Do we have any public comment for agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on to the minutes of the previous meetings. Approval of the December 15th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes. Do we have any discussion on that? Any questions? I get a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
I get a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the January 5th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
Same, I'll make an approval to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, Treasurer's Report authorization to pay bills and approve payroll. I did look that over. I can make a motion, approve the Treasurer's Report and authorization to pay bills and approve payroll. Do I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports, Township Manager's Report. Luke?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This evening, I'm pleased to report that the township was successful in obtaining a grant from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources in the amount of $338,400. This from their Community Conservation Partnership Program, or C2P2 grant program. The money is used to offset the acquisition cost of the McQueen Campground located on 282. We had previously been awarded a grant in the amount of $80,000 from Chester County's Preservation Partnership Program for the same purpose. Together, these two grants account for 75% of the cost of the acquisition of land. One grant application for this project remains out for consideration. This is a grant for the LSA, or the State Local Share Account, for the purpose of getting funds to demolish the structures at the McQueen Campground site. The board adopted a resolution in November of 2024. If awarded, that grant would be an additional $196,980. I have to say, on a less positive note, the fact that we got notification that we received one of our two C2P2 grant applications is the unspoken bit is that we did not get the other application in the same cycle. That application would have been for the purpose of constructing the All Abilities Playground and Community Park. Parks and Recreation and Township staff remain committed to locating matching funding for this worthy project. And in fact, there is already another outstanding application that was submitted in this fall by the Assistant Township Manager. And that too is with the Local Share Account, or LSA. The remainder of my comments are all agenda items, so respectfully submitted.
What was the amount of the grant for the all-inclusive playground?
Approximately $250,000.
Thank you.
That would have been about 50% of the cost.
Thank you, Luke. All right, we will move on to the Assistant Manager's Report. Noah?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. A couple things for me. On Friday, or tomorrow, January 16th at 6 p.m., Bonsville Mill Park is hosting a OWL program in partnership with the Indian Run Environmental Education Center. This educational evening walk is going to teach participants about local owl species and promote environmental education. The event is registration only, and it is limited to 30 participants. So if you are unable to sign up for the event, they will be hosting another Owl Prowl later this year. But that is happening tomorrow at the Bonsville Mill Park at 6 p.m. Another event that is happening later this month is the lithium battery collection event in partnership with the Chester County Solid Waste Authority. That is happening on January 31st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it will be at the East Brandywine Community Park right by the Craft Pavilion. This event is primarily designed to provide residents with a safe and convenient way to properly dispose of lithium-ion batteries, which again can cause a significant fire hazard if placed in regular trash or recycling. This collection event will accept common household lithium-ion batteries, including those from power tools, laptops, cordless vacuums, and similar devices. It will be conducted as a drive-through collection, so residents will be able to remain in their vehicles while staff safely handle and collect the materials. We did post information about the event on our township website and Facebook page as well, if residents want to get more information about the lithium-ion battery collection event happening. The last thing for me is the less than 1 acre best management practice self-inspection surveys. So part of our MS4 stormwater compliance obligations, we have to conduct these less than 1 acre BMP inspections. This year for 2026, property owners will be doing self-inspection surveys. Previously, these surveys were conducted by Cedarville Engineering. We are now transitioning to a survey where residents will be able to conduct the inspections themselves. On February 2nd, we are going to mail out the self-inspection surveys to residents who are due for inspection in the year 2026. The purpose of these surveys is to essentially ensure that stormwater facilities, such as infiltration beds, detention basins, rain gardens, and other similar systems are properly maintained and are functioning as designed. In that letter that gets sent out to the residents who are due for inspection, there will be instructions and a QR code linking them to an online inspection form. And we will also have a paper version of the form for those who prefer to complete it on paper and not via an online survey. We'll track the responses, then follow up as needed, and we'll post reminder notices on the township website and social media as well. And I would urge residents, and it is in the letter as well, if you need assistance completing the forms, you can contact myself at 610-269-8230, extension 205, or shoot me an email at noahstribney@eastbrandywine.org. And that is all from me, members of the board.
Thank you, Noah. We have the building inspector's report. Do you want to read that into the record?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. It was the preference of the immediate past chair that I read these into the record, although that hasn't always been our tradition. So it is optional. You may elect to have me read them into the record, or we can just accept them as included in your packet.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and read the bulk of it? I can read it. Year end. Why don't you do year end? Because you got year end and then January.
Very good.
Because I don't think we did year end at the last meeting.
Very good. So for the year ending 2025, there were a total of 431 building permits issued and 43 zoning only permits issued. The total fees collected for building and zoning permits were $731,659.29. A total of 299 use and occupancy permits were issued, and 2,595 inspections were completed. I do believe there is a typo on the failed inspections. There were more than 0 failed inspections. Each month we've had more than that, so I think that's a typo. But wrapping up the report, the total fees collected were $740,120.54. This report is respectfully submitted by Noreen King, Buildings and Codes Secretary.
Thank you, Luke. All right, our next one is the Township Roadmaster Report.
Good evening. Excuse me. The first paragraph titled Traffic Concerns will be read during Section 9 of the agenda, Ordinances and Resolutions for Consideration. We'll move on to Stormwater Pipelining. In February, work will commence on the Aspen Drive and Kristen Circle Pipelining Project. Work is predicted to conclude in March, and there should be minimal impact on nearby residents or traffic. And for your recollection, the project was estimated at $155,896 for 645 linear feet of line pipe. It was also approved back on October 20th of 2025. And for the record, the COI was obtained with the township listed. Snow removal. To date, we have encountered 4 storms for the winter season. It may not sound like a lot, but most storms require multiple response times. In all, approximately 128 hours were needed for cleanup and to provide safe travel for the township-owned roadways. As a reminder, residents are asked not to park on township-owned streets after snowfall. You can please reference Section 245-8 of the East Brandywine Township Code for details and possible violations. This document is available to all on our website. And for the final portion of my report, I had to amend the final sentence, which I will get to in a moment. And I would like to update the board on the Hatfield Road Bridge closure. The bridge is nearly complete and has been for quite some time. The delay in finishing the project was a last-minute change order on the guide rail terminations per PennDOT requirements. The new terminations were on back order, hence the holdup. Originally, there was supposed to be a final inspection tomorrow, and the road was supposed to open shortly thereafter. I received word today that work is not yet complete and the final inspection has been canceled and no later date has been determined.
Okay. All right, well, eventually we'll get that
2
opened
years.
again.
We're coming to 2 years, aren't we?
So I guess you'll provide a report, I guess, on the horseshoe, the old horseshoe road one?
Yeah, that's going to come up under ordinances.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so we're ready for our police department report.
Good evening.
Jeff?
So first, I just want to thank everyone for participating in my swearing-in ceremony. I know it's been a fairly busy month with the transition from retired Chief Cozy to me, and I have a moment to really thank everyone, especially Jackie Smedley, our secretary. She did a lot of work to make a beautiful event. Secondly, just update you guys, we did switch our report management system to Pathfinder, which has been on the calendar for around a year and a half, kept getting pushed back. Transition's pretty seamless, thanks to Steve Tyree. We're still learning the system, but it enhances our capabilities for data sharing and searching. For the stats for the month of December 2025, we had 2,160 events, 177 investigations, 9 criminal arrests, 3 summary arrests, 4 warrant arrests, 16 accident investigations, 41 traffic citations issued, 35 written warnings, and we logged 9,162 total patrol miles. Additionally, Corporal Harnish and Detective Flood are still attending the Chester County Basic Crime Scene Certification School. That's going well. In closing, I just want to thank the East Brandywine Fire Company for lending us their Whitmer Conference Center to hold Chief's Cozy's retirement dinner. It was a beautiful event, very nice facility. It worked perfectly. And one more comment, not in my report. Over this past week, Derek and his staff have been instrumental in painting, changing some locks, and just doing some office transitions, and they've been phenomenal. I just wanted to thank them for all their help. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, so we've got the East Brandywine Fire Company report. You want to read that?
Yeah.
in, Kyle? Kyle's going to read that. in.
So East Brandywine had 21 fire calls, 7 medical calls. The total gallons used was 308.7, and the fire-related injuries was 1. They had total hours of training of 108 hours.
All right, thank you. We will move on to the Minnequist report. Do we have anyone from Minnequist here tonight? All right. We'll defer that to next month then. Okay. So we have nothing under old business, new business. We have the East Brandywine Baptist Church 2026 Food Truck Festival. Your flag.
That me?
That is you.
You want me to use a microphone here, or can I just?
I think you'll be able to really
Yeah.
pick it up.
Well, good evening. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me, board. I did make a couple sketches, kind of the layout, some simple notes, if you want me to hand that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I made enough copies for everybody.
You want to put it up on the screen or just not necessary?
I don't think it's necessary. Well, I don't know. It's just, you tell me.
Why don't you take the final copy and you can put it right underneath of that where your
Yeah.
glasses are, and we can project that up.
Oh, okay. Technology.
Right.
Go back a little bit.
See that?
Yeah,
There
right
you go.
Yep.
So there's some notes on the front. And I won't, I guess I'll just sort of go through the sketch here. Yeah, so I guess the discussion that we're trying to have is maybe just the use of the East Brandywine Community Park for the Food Truck Festival this year. The proposed date is July 11th with a rain date of the 12th. In general, the festival arrangement and the look, the feel, where we're going to be setting up is basically the same as the past years. There was a change that we made last year with the petting zoo. So where we located the animal petting area, here we had just relocated that to this little grove here, and it worked well last year. That's fine, and I think probably the major point of discussion, I would assume, would be the fireworks. So we had discharged the fireworks from this location. I believe that's every year that we've had the event, and we're just planning to do the same thing. Last year we had a stage set up here, and most of the viewing for the fireworks were here, and this large field here. We had the food trucks set up in this area here, and if you notice, I have a blow up sketch kind of how we've set the trucks up in the past. It's going to be pretty similar. We're looking still at 10 to 12 trucks, and the similar location for air bounce and the children's game area as well. So it's pretty much going to be set up exactly the same as the last few years. We did talk to Parks and Rec about I have some notes there concerning the toilet, additional porta potties that they requested, and the location for the trash dumpster. Similar to last year's, we're going to put a dumpster here, and we'll handle all the cleanup, all the waste, the cost for that, and the disposal. So it's really kind of just a discussion about if you're okay, the dumpster would go there. I don't know if you have any questions. There's a couple other notes maybe that we could just talk about. Our signs, I think a request was made that our signs clearly state that East Brandywine Baptist Church is the sponsor for the event. So no issue there. I think we can do that. And I think we're just requesting some fire, police on site for the event, and which is typically there's a large group of both there anyway. So if that's okay. I think the certificate of insurance for each vendor, you guys said, I think that was a request in the past. We plan to do that again as well. One note, I think, in addition, we do have the 5K event in the morning. So we would just have the same event. It's basically going to be set up again the same way. And Parks and Rec asked that we not use spray chalk this year, so we'll use the regular chalk. And the only difference there would be that we were planning to have a couple food trucks possibly in the morning at the 5K event. I think that's it. I don't know if there's any questions for me.
My only question would be, obviously, the chief is here, but have you talked it over with their schedules and the fire departments as well?
We have not. We have not. Well, I don't know if we have. I don't believe we have.
I have not, but it's on our radar. I made sure I set some restricted to date from overbooking vacations.
Okay. And we could, I mean, we could meet with either or both if you'd like, or, you know, we can give you more information. As we get closer, we can give you more information. That's a good point. So,
And Sergio is now the new chief for the fire department, so you might want to run it by him, but that would be my.
okay.
I believe in the past, the fire department has provided some lighting for
Yeah.
exits.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to coordinate
Okay.
with them.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes.
Uh,
Right ahead.
Would the, for the 5K, that's all within the confines of the park?
Yeah, it is. That's a good point. Yeah.
So-
I meant to mention that, sorry. It is. It's all within the park.
Right, so that will help set up, I think, some explanation of what statutory ask of the board is this evening. This activity, which is not the first of its kind, this has been, what are we at, 5 years now, or more?
I think it is 5 years.
Is it 5?
I think it's 5 years.
So, in order to host this event, the sponsors need 3 types of permission. The first one is in the Township's Code, Chapter 105. There is a provision about a large gathering. The ability to approve a permit for a large gathering is delegated to the township staff, and we could process that without having an applicant come to a board meeting and ask. The second thing that's unique about this is in our Chapter 182, there exists a set of rules for the use of the park. And in particular, the park rules have a section that says if fireworks are to be used, it requires permission of the Board of Supervisors. So technically, why we have an agenda here tonight is to give permission to have an event in the park that will have fireworks per the park rules in Chapter 182 of the Township Code. The third thing that is required administratively to host an event like this is that the plan for the fireworks, these are commercial grade professional fireworks, the plan for separation, size of mortars, and all of that is reviewed by the township's codes team for compliance with the International Fire Code. That is also something that staff can handle internally and doesn't require a board vote. So all that to say, there's 3 things that the applicant needs to do to host this event, one of which requires the board's permission, and that is to host an event in our park that has fireworks. So that would be the question before you this evening.
Okay. Well, that seems simple enough. Any questions on having the event with fireworks from the board members?
I don't have any questions, just a reminder that we just need approval from the fire department to make
Yeah.
sure that they're on site. That's all.
Coordinate with the fire company and the police department. Smoothly. I get a motion to approve this request from the East Brandywine Baptist Church for the 2026 Food Truck Festival.
So moved.
Favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe we'll see you all at the event. Have a great year.
Okay. Next item B is Pulte Escrow Final Release, and that will be Luke.
Yes. Included in your packet this evening is a letter dated January 9th from Pannoni Engineering recommending the release of some escrow or financial security on file at the township, placed there by Pulte for the project of Applecross. The second page of your application is the original request dated October 21 from the Pulte Group for the release of 4 bonds. I'm going to just briefly summarize the 4 bonds. They're referenced by number in the Pulte letter. One is for Phase 2, one is for Phase 3, one is for Phase 4, and one is for Phase 5. All of these bonds were originally issued in 2012. The sum of all the bonded activity originally was $3,493,492.43. The remaining bonds for which the Pulte has requested to be released this evening is $685,619.69, or approximately 20%. This last 20% that has not been released has been held on the understanding that it would be held until the Chester County Conservation District gave a notice of termination to the MPDES permit, which is the permit that's required of any developer disturbing more than 1 acre. Pulte received its notice of termination on October 22nd. So at this time, consistent with the recommendation of the township's engineer, I recommend the release of the remaining balances in the 4 bonds shown in the Pulte letter of October 21.
Mr. Chairman, I told Luke already, I'm going to recuse myself from this for having done work for both the builder and the HOA for Applecross, so it just.
Okay. And a question that I have, I guess we'll go to Tom and Luke. Is there any impact on the pending improvements that they were required to do regarding the highway occupancy permit improvements on 322 and Hopewell Road intersection?
I'll take a stab at that.
Yes, sir.
I draw your attention to the 3rd paragraph of Pannoni's letter there. It says, further, our understanding is that the signal-related improvements continue to be coordinated separately under the auspices of the PennDOT highway occupancy permit. That's the end of the quote from Pannoni. Now I'm going to add another sentence on the end and say that the improvements that Pulte is required to make at the intersection of 322 and Bondsville were never itemized in the 4 escrows that we are releasing this evening. So, no effect.
Okay.
They're still obligated to perform those intersections. However, it is a PennDOT obligation, not a township obligation.
Yes. All right. So PennDOT will work with them with regards to whatever financing requirements or funding that needs to be in place to ensure that the project is going to be started, completed, and paid for.
Right. I could get myself in trouble ad-libbing here, but I would characterize it as the obligation on Pulte from PennDOT is to make improvements to the intersection to achieve particular performance standards. But the design originated from Pulte and was reviewed by PennDOT as meeting their obligation to improve the function of that intersection.
At the time, 20 years ago.
No, that's been fairly recent.
Okay.
Well, not
5
20
years?
Yeah, well, fairly recent in municipal terms, which would be in the last 5
Yeah.
years. Yes. Right. So they're still obligated to make those improvements, just as a matter of where we are in that process. Last spring, the board authorized township staff and the solicitor to acquire the necessary right-of-way, which has been the primary holdup in that project since it became a condition of their highway occupancy permit early 2000s.
Okay. So the state will have the responsibility of ensuring that Pulte follows through with this.
Correct.
Any other questions? All right, at this time, I'll make a motion to approve the Pulte escrow final release. Do I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Move on to purchase of 700 recycled cartons from Toter LLC, Solid Waste Fund per CoStar's contract number 017-E22-053. Noah, that is you.
So members of the board, what you'll see in your packet is a quote from Toter LLC for 700 Toter brand recycling carts at a total cost of $39,200. The item on the agenda is for the authorization to purchase these carts. Toter LLC and the quote that was received was used the Commonwealth CoStar's contract number 017E22053. Our current recycling cart inventory is low, and we waited until the start of the 2026 budget year to move forward with this purchase, so it could be properly budgeted and planned for. Because it's being made through the CoStarz program, we are not required to solicit any competitive bids. Additionally, the PA DEP Act 101 Section 902 grant would fund 90% of the total cost of this purchase, and that's something that we have done previously in the past. This is a grant where if we secure the funding, 90% of the $39,200 would be covered. And given the current low inventory of our recycling carts, the reimbursement opportunity, and the use of the CoStarz contract, I'm recommending that we do move forward with this purchase at this time. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So you have a grant application for the 90% coverage of this expense?
Not yet, because it has not been opened yet.
Okay.
But it will be this, I'm
Okay.
hoping this spring.
So we're going to buy them, we're going to pay for them, and then you're going to apply for the grant to get reimbursed?
Yep.
Okay. Other questions? None? I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 700 recycled cart tote from Toter LLC from the Solid Waste Fund per CoStar contract 017E22-053. Do I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
All right, subdivision and zoning applications. I don't see any. Ordinance and resolutions for consideration. A, we have Resolution 2 of 2026, accepting PennDOT offer for right-of-way on parcel 30-5-151. Luke, that would be you, sir.
Bear with me while I bring up a picture here. All right, so the photo on your screen is a drone shot of a section of Bondsville Road in East Brandywine Township. The left side of the road depicted there is all property owned in fee by East Brandywine Township. It is used for active recreation or passive recreation. It is the Bondsville Mill Park. See in the photograph, that particular bend in the creek has eroded right up to the edge of the roadway. That's a state roadway. PennDOT, on an expedited pace, is trying to acquire from us the necessary right-of-way to build a retaining wall there to keep the motoring public safe. We've received an offer for the right-of-way and for an access easement and for a stream easement, and the offer was $14,400. In addition to that compensation for the right-of-way, PennDOT offers up to $4,000 in reimbursement for our legal and engineering expense. Speaking of our legal expense, our solicitor has taken the liberty of preparing a resolution for your consideration. It's Resolution 2 of 2026. In short, it authorizes township staff to take the necessary steps to convey this right-of-way to PennDOT. So at this time, I'm respectfully asking the board to adopt Resolution 2 of 2026 so that we may get this road fixed.
Okay. Are there any questions with regards to Resolution 2 of 2026? None. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2 of 2026 for parcel 30-5-151.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, the next one is permission to advertise draft ordinance establishing speed limit on Old Horseshoe Pike pending solicitor's review. That's Derek.
Good evening. In the beginning of December, work was completed on Old Horseshoe Pike culvert replacement. Not long after reopening the road, we received a few complaints from nearby residents about speeding and people cutting through. During the time Old Horseshoe was closed, the light at My Place townhomes on 322 was constructed and put into operation. I anticipate that as people learn of the road being open, more traffic will utilize it. And it was brought to my attention that speed limit signs were not posted on the entire length of the road. Count Township owns approximately half of the road to the east and has granted my request and installed a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign on their portion of the road per their ordinance. Our portion of the road has a statutory speed of 35 miles an hour with no previous speed ordinance. Per Pennsylvania Vehicle Code and Amended Act 151 of 1998, we are authorized to establish a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit without the necessity of an engineering and traffic study. Public Works has erected a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign approximately 175 east of 322 on the south side of the road. And we are asking the board to review the draft ordinance included in your packet so it can be advertised prior to adoption in February's board meeting. Thank you.
Okay. That seems pretty straightforward. So, do we have any questions on the speed limit posting for Old Horseshoe Pike? 25 miles an hour?
Make a motion to, for permission to advertise for the draft ordinance establishing the speed limit on by first list to review.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So do we have public comment on non-agenda items? Seeing none, there was a notice. There are notices. There was an executive session held on January 5th to discuss personnel matters. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all very much.